I'm an athlete. I have an athlete's mind, an athlete's hand, and athlete's foot. Which really sucks. Because it's itchy.
Hey everybody, this is Praxis, and yes, this video is about athlete's foot. There's a lot of question marks around athlete's foot. For one, it's something that doesn't just apply to athletes. It can be on parts of your body that aren't just your foot. People say it's caused by ringworm, but it's not a worm at all. It's caused by funguses. A lot of question marks about it. I've had it a number of times in my life. I'm the kind of person where in the summertime, I'm always walking around barefoot, and people will see me doing that nonstop throughout the summer. And oftentimes I've been told, man, if I did that, my feet would be all dry and cracked. Not mine. My feet are constantly exuding moisture, which is great in the summer because I can go barefoot all the time. But in the wintertime, when I take those feet and I put them into socks and then inside of dark boots, and they're moist, it's an ideal environment for getting athlete's foot. I've gotten it a couple times in my life, and I've always used the creams to try to get rid of it. There's like Lotrimin is one of the creams you can use. There's all different kinds of them. But there are a lot of downsides with using the creams. One, you got to pay for them. Two, you can't use them until you have the athlete's foot. It's not the kind of thing where you're just going to be putting that cream on your feet all the time to prevent it from happening in the first place. And on top of that, from a prepper's perspective, they're not the kind of thing that you can stockpile like in your pantry or something like that. So you always have it like, the shit hits the fan and you get athlete's foot and you have the cure ready to go, because they have a definite shelf life and they have to be kept at a very particular temperature range. So it does not lend itself to the whole I'm going to stock a bunch of it so I got it in the future if I ever need it. So I was looking for an alternate way of handling athlete's foot, and I came up with what is just, why doesn't everyone do this? It is the best way of addressing athlete's foot, in my opinion. And it is derived from my experiences in the past. Oftentimes in the wintertime, I would take a vacation down to the Caribbean or something. And if I was dealing with athlete's foot leading up to that trip, once I got down to the Caribbean, I'm walking through the sand, you have the sun on your toes, you have the salt water and everything, and the sand's kind of grinding away at your feet. Any athlete's foot I had would always go away at that time. So what I thought is, well, why don't I try to simulate those circumstances, but without having to get on a jet plane and do all that. And it works. Right here, what I have next to me is a plastic tub, and in the bottom, I've got some sand. This is just sand that I got at the hardware store. You can get river sand or whatever. When I made this thing, it was in the dead of winter, and I was not gonna have any access to river sand. So this is just some stuff I had kicking around. It was in a little sandbox I made for river that, again, like I said, I got at the hardware store. Put a bunch of sand in here, just some regular iodized sea salt. I guess it doesn't have to have iodine in it, but there's iodine in the ocean anyway. I put some of that in and put some warm water, and it's just wonderful. I'll put this underneath where I work at my computer doing Praxis videos, and in the evening I'll just fill it up with maybe a gallon and a half of water, put some salt in there, a ratio of about 1/3 of a cup per gallon. You can do more than that, but I wouldn't want to do less than it because you're trying to shock those funguses, and warm up the water. You can either do it over the stove, or I got some water going back here in the parabolic solar cooker. You can do it any way that you like, but you get nice, warm, salty water. Get your feet into the sand, rub them around in there. It's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful, and it totally works. It is something you can do on a non-stop basis, so you can just prevent yourself from getting it athlete's foot in the first place. I can't go on enough about it. It's just the qualitative experiential difference between putting your feet into some nice, warm, salty water with sand versus smearing creams on them. There you go. So if you are someone that has issues with athlete's foot, I would highly recommend doing this as something both to cure it and just as an ongoing thing. If you know that you're prone to it, just kind of do this whenever you have a chance. You're watching a movie, put your feet in front of it and kind of scrub them around. You'll want to change the water now and then because you're going to be putting dead skin cells in there. So you'll want to dump it out. I'll use it for maybe a week or so, and I'll kind of filter it a little bit as I go, pour off just the water and then kind of swish out the dead skin stuff and then throw it out. Try to get the sand clean again. But it works super, super well. Is it going to work on similar sorts of things like jock itch, which is really kind of from the same thing? I don't know. Could you get your crotch in there somehow? I don't know. Maybe it's really ideal for athlete's foot just because you can stick your feet in. But, I don't know if you could somehow maneuver any part of your body into it. I would presume that it would be very effective, but certainly it works on feet, and it's such a treat. It's such a treat in the middle of the winter. That's it. Give it a try if you think that it might help you, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe for new videos all the time, and if you'd like to support this channel, you can do so either through Patreon or PayPal.